morning.
We are here. Hello.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Yep. Nice jacket.
Thank you. Check it out. Nicole got me 2 hoodies, and I think the only thing I get more excited about than new t-shirts is new hoodies.
It's been a while since he's had a new hoodie. He didn't really need them in Arizona, so...
Dude, is this a chick's jacket?
No.
Isn't there like a thing with buttons and zippers that if the zipper's on the left-hand side, it's a girl's jacket? Right. And if the zipper is on the right, it's a guy's jacket?
I don't know, but when I ordered it off of Think Geek,
you got me a girl's jacket.
No, I did not.
I've never had a zipper on my left side. But it's cool in the back. Yeah, there's nothing female about it.
No, it's a dude's jacket.
It's a dude's jacket, all right, guys? Stop it.
Check out my jacket.
Where the zipper do-lap thingy is on the left-hand side.
Where's that? Oh, is it on the back? I think it's on the back.
Yes.
My
Vault 111, baby.
Vault number.
By the way, I just learned how to get my best body.
Yeah?
By reading the Red Book in the bathroom. Red
Book
magazine.
The Red Book magazine.
Yeah. That's why I like to go in
That's a free magazine subscription.
I like to go in the laundry room because I learn all kinds of things like that.
You read all the magazines.
And who is dating whom in Hollywood. These are very important things.
Not really, but...
Okay, so welcome to Friday Live, everybody. So yay. I'm going to have to close that damn door. I hear mowers and leaf blowers.
You would think you would have learned from your past.
Yeah, but I don't.
But you don't.
We reached our $2,000 goal.
What?
So high five on that.
High five.
I'm going to go close the door while you talk
Virtual
about it.
Virtual high five. What am I going to talk about? We reached it. So, what we're going to do. All right, so what we're going to do is add a new show, an evening edition. We're going to keep doing the morning shows on Friday. So we'll just have a new show. And the idea behind this is that if we keep up at that goal level, then we'll just keep doing the evening shows once a month. How about that?
That sounds wonderful. Whatever she said.
Yep.
So seriously, thank you so much for supporting us. And
that's crazy.
The one thing to keep in mind is when you're right at that goal number, it can ebb and flow.
Yeah, it does.
Easy come, easy go. And we actually did hit 2,000
a couple days ago.
A few days ago.
And then it went down.
Had some premature congratulations because next thing you know, it went right back down. All it takes is one like high level patron to cancel one of their subscriptions and then it goes back down.
And guess what? Somebody asked me, they were like, would you get upset if I did a high level and then I went down to, I'm like, no.
We don't babysit it.
No.
And I've always done this with Wood Talk, especially when it comes to donations. We don't look a gift horse in the mouth, so to speak. So if someone cancels, or I'd rather not even get notifications about cancellations because that's your business.
Do you get notifications?
Well, on Wood Talk, we used to, like the PayPal, someone canceled.
Turn that off.
Well, and we also get notifications when someone changes. So if they go down a level, we see that, but I just delete it. I don't pay any attention to it.
So thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much. So I mean,
thank you.
No, thank you. So this is kind of cool. We're going to do a PM show. Yeah. We will continue to do it once a month as long as we maintain that level. We
won't be doing it tonight because I have a sick kid.
Yeah,
in fact, he's occupying himself with the Game Boy right now.
Yeah, hopefully he'll stay there.
Sick little kid won't come wandering in.
Yeah, and the thing is, if we do drop below the 2,000 before Friday, I mean, if it's like right before, fine. Yeah. But if it happens like today, we're not going to do the show. We really want to make sure that we're above that milestone to continue doing that.
Get your hair cut, you hippie.
I know. Here's what happened, all right? I go to Great Clips, which, by the way, I really like because they've got
the focus is off.
They got an app. Is the focus off?
This is somebody, the focus is rough.
Here, let me check it out. There might be something weird on my camera.
Yeah, you would think you would know how to do this after how many times have we done this?
Well, let me pull back a little bit.
Somebody says the background looks way too perfect. Oh, look, there's us. I didn't even look at your wall.
You didn't look at anything in here.
I know. Oh, this is so great.
I'll show everybody in a couple seconds.
I love it.
Anyway, Great Clips has a good app, and I can make my appointment. But last time I went there, I had a trainee cut my hair.
He's asking Mark, this okay? He's like, dude.
Yeah, you're the guy cutting the hair, man. Don't test on, don't you train these people before they start working? So I don't have to, if you give me a discount on the haircut, fine.
This is not a massage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is the pressure okay?
So the guy didn't, he didn't cut my hair properly.
No, he didn't.
Okay, so let's see. I want to thank a couple of thank yous real quick.
Yeah, we have.
So Zac Higgins, good old friend of the show.
Yep.
Really nice guy.
Did some posts on the website.
Well, yeah, we actually met Zac years ago at one of our first Vegas AWFS meetups. Right. And Zac has made some beautiful, absolutely gorgeous pens. And he does a lot of casting.
This reminds me of Fallout, the yellow and blue. I might steal this one.
Oh yeah, that is nice. So he does a lot of casting in acrylic, and he puts all kinds of things in acrylic, and then makes bowl blanks or turning blanks out of them. So this is sort of out of his colored pencil series. And I just thought the kids would love these things, right?
We'll turn these.
This one is a little dangerous.
Mateo goes, I want to use those. I said, buddy, you can't.
If you can pull them out, you can have them.
Well, we could do like that.
Yeah, you get like a little spider type thing. So these are amazing, Zac. Really, really nice. Clear acrylic, and it's embedded with these awesome colored pencils. So I'll be turning these. So his
channel is mainly turning, right?
Turning and casting. He does a lot with the acrylic stuff. So he actually has his card here, but anyway, it's Envy Woodworks. So he is in the Vegas area.
That's right.
And you can check him out on YouTube. So definitely go take a look at Zac's stuff. Growing channel, really nice guy. Zac came out to help us with our book release. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because Vegas wasn't that far from.
Yeah, it was a drive.
From Phoenix. I'm going to hold this pen the whole show. This is so beefy.
Yeah, that is a beefy.
Is there anything better than just a nice beefy turned pen?
I don't know. I like the thinner ones.
Do you?
Yeah.
But this feels
my tiny hands.
Feel this one.
See, I would.
It just feels good.
Well, for you, but for me, I would. My hand would get fatigued.
Okay. So you want to talk about the meetup real quick?
Oh yeah. So on the TWW community page, Facebook group, Mark, a few weeks ago, you encouraged people to do meetups, and we have and I believe he's a guild member too. Did you write? Yeah, Justin Melvin. Sorry, Justin. Contacted me and said, hey, I want to do a meetup in the Houston area. What do you think? And I said, well, let me do, and he wanted to post about it. I said, well, let me do one better. I'll just make an event in the Facebook group. So if you are in the Houston area, it's if you go over to the Facebook group, which do you remember the
just search for it.
Facebook.
Wood Whisperer Community. Yeah,
TWW Community, I think it is. Yeah, it is. So facebook.com/group/TWW Community, and underneath events, they're on June 11th, so it's a Sunday, and it's at Uncle Albert's Pub.
Nice.
At noon. He's just getting a group of woodworkers. There are already 4 people.
Great.
Said they're going to go. Somebody goes, I live in Florida. Why did you invite me? I'm like, I didn't invite you. Facebook invited you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have control over.
Facebook works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, I don't really have control over that. Mark and I will not be at this meetup, even though it says that I'm like going, but I'm not going because I just created the event. So, but
yeah, we won't be there.
But Justin will be there. Super nice guy. Yeah. Oh, five people are going. 46 are interested.
Yeehaw! That's a party right
I went to the website for this Uncle Albert's Pub, and it looks cool. They have like live music, and it's just a neat little place. So
looks
nice
good.
Casual environment to meet some fellow woodworkers.
Okay, what else do we have? We got to do this.
Oh yeah,
quickly.
yeah. Sorry.
Taking way too long.
I know. We always do. So I got a couple of packages in the mail. This one is from Chuck Moon.
Chuck Moon.
And Chuck has a few products called the Mag Dro. And you can buy these at Rockler, and he lives in Colorado Springs.
Oh, really?
And so he sent us some samples for you. He said, the products came about as I work on projects as a hobbyist woodworker. As a product designer, I was able to design and manufacture them and started Magdro.
So these are caliper bases.
Is that what it is?
Ideal for table saw fence blade alignment. So basically this one would attach to the base of your caliper, and you could put it into the miter slot. So I guess it's for setup purposes. This other one is a magnetic caliper base, which is pretty cool.
So comparing that to that little gauge you have over there, I mean, are they
totally different? You're thinking that's for setting miter angles.
Okay.
This is for tool setup. So you want to keep it in a fixed position so you can check the distance from the miter slot to the blade and check the blade alignment to make sure it's true.
Gotcha.
And there's the magnetic version allows you to do the same thing without a miter slot, but just into a cast iron surface.
Gotcha.
So nice little gadgets, man. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I guess this is a new product for him.
I think so. They're in Rockler, so you can find them at Rockler.
Well, good job getting in Rockler. That's great.
Yeah. So Magdro.
Magdro.
And then we also have, I believe, oh, there's a note. Oh, Nicole, here's a little thank you for the time and effort. You notice he said me?
Yeah, of course. You get all the credit. You get all the credit for all my hard work. Oh, another pen.
Yeah, you put into the holiday gift guide web article last. Hey, that is me. You didn't do any of that. The holiday gift guide web article last December.
Beautiful.
I turned this. It's turned from a maple burl that I cast in acrylic. Chris Lalong. Is it Lalong? So Lalong. From Oak Lane Woodworks.
Very nice. I got so many pens now.
Oh, I remember the handmade. So where we listed all like the Etsy stores of all the members. That's that's right. He was on that list.
For some business.
Yeah. So this is a cigar twist pen.
That's great.
The pen operates by twisting the top or bottom. That's really cool. Like this. Yeah. Where's the pen?
In my hand.
Oh, is that it? No,
wait,
I thought that was Zac's.
Here, take a look. All right, so we're going to get to some questions here, but I did want to mention the elephant in the room is the new wall in the shop. So I will be doing a phase 2 video for the Offcuts channel showing you what I did and why I did it. But we essentially moved the assembly table to the one side and brought the workbench over here. And oddly enough, it gave me a lot more space. Plus I put the wall up in front of the garage doors and that turned out great. And giving me that extra wall space really allowed me to expand on this side. And as you can see, there's a lot more stuff up on the walls now. And I actually don't really even have a need for my tool cabinet anymore. The hand tool cabinet that I made, it's sitting right there, and I'm still not sure what to do with it. Because everything's on the wall. Here's my theory. Nothing against tool cabinets.
Deadpool.
Do you like that? Can you guys see Deadpool climbing up the block planes? So the idea here is I like stuff to be accessible. So yeah, cabinets are great, and if you really are pressed for wall space, they're really handy because you could pack a lot of tools into one spot. But with this, everything is accessible. It's there where I need it. It has a nice little home, and I have a lot of space between things. I can compress them if I have more to add to it and need to move things around. Maybe to make room for another sponsor sign or something like that. Milwaukee, Dunkin' Donuts, right? So that was kind of the logic behind this, and a lot of people like the cabinets, but I really like having everything distributed on the wall. And here's the other thing. It gives me a chance to really enjoy some of the stuff that has been sent to me over the years, like this piece of scroll work from a photo of Nicole and I. And here's the thing, I can't remember everybody's name that sent me this stuff, so I feel really bad about it. But there's the piece I made. The sign that Dwayne made is over there. With David Marks up there. There's Eric Roten, the router sign guy. Made me the Wood Whisper Redwood sign. The Giants. The dude made me the Giants bottle opener, which we'll be using on Friday Live to open our bottles of beer. Friday Live PM. And of course I've got my, Colorado flag because I'm the Colorado guy now. It's just my thing, Nicole. Yes, I know. I'm a native-ish Coloradan. So I'm also in the Discord. So I'm in the YouTube chat, and I'm taking. We already have a super chat to do. Super chat. But I also have some Friday Live. Well, we got questions. Let's get to them. Get to it. Okay, Justin Melvin, the guy who's doing the Facebook meetup, says, I just finished designing a new multi-use table that'll function as an outfeed table, work assembly bench, and router table at the end with cabinet bases for storage. My question is, what would you recommend that the top be made out of? My first thought is melamine, but after thinking about it, I'm not sure. I do plan on putting a front vise on it and want to be able to use bench dogs. I don't have the room in my shop for separate tables. So this is, there's probably a number of materials that would work. I actually do like melamine for this. There aren't many things I like melamine for, but I do like it for a work surface because it's going to resist stains, it's going to resist dents, it's going to be fairly easy to keep clean. But obviously if the melamine starts chipping and stuff like that, then you have some problems with it. But overall, it's kind of a good material for that. My extension wing on the new Powermatic, the PM2000, is a melamine topped with dog holes because it's meant to be used as an accessory workbench. I don't use it for that, but that's why it's there. But it's nice and slick. It's very easy to move pieces across. Now that could kind of work against you with work holding. So if you are using it as a workbench, a lot of times it's better for a workbench to have some gripping characteristics. Melamine doesn't really have that. So there is a little bit of a balance there. But anything from plywood to melamine to even MDF. Now, what I would recommend is that you do at least a double, if not triple layup of the material for the top. Get that top nice and thick, because if you're gonna do dog holes, you want something that's gonna resist the pressure that's in there. And a single 3/4 inch sheet of sheet goods, regardless of what it is, it's not gonna hold up very well. So definitely do a sandwich and make that a little bit thicker. But really, it's going to be personal preference for the top material, but I am not totally against melamine for that.
You can't sand. Did you talk about, somebody said you can't sand melamine.
You can't sand it, but why would you need to?
Yeah.
Melamine is not going to absorb anything. There's no reason to sand it. And if the thing is built flat and the base is flat, it should stay flat. So there's just no need to sand it. You clean it, and that's it.
There you go.
Yeah, and let's see, Kenny wrote in, I just started woodworking. Think I understand how different finishes work, but I'm not sure when I should use one over the other or combine them. I know it's subjective, but I also want to know if there's a specific finish that isn't good for a specific project, like shellac shouldn't be used for a dining room table. I also just got an HVLP, and what's your go-to finish? Okay, so I'll answer the last question first. You guys who watch the show and guild projects and things like that know that I like to use Sherwin-Williams lacquer for my finishes, not so much because it's the best, but because that's what I'm comfortable with. I was introduced to that stuff by Cody, at the refinishing shop, and it's just something that I really know how it behaves, and it's predictable for me. So I keep going back to it, but there are a lot of good spray finishes out there outside of that Sherwin-Williams stuff. I just don't have experience with them. I'm not spraying that much here, though, I gotta tell you that. Just because the situation doesn't quite allow for it, the weather isn't always perfect spraying conditions, so I'm probably leaning more toward hand-applied finishes these days. Now, as far as what finishes go where, what to avoid, I'm not gonna be able to answer that right now, because that's a big topic. But you did inspire me, Justin, to make a video.
No,
Kenny. Sorry. You did inspire me to make a video on this. And it's going to be something like my top 10 don'ts of finishing, and has to do with don't use this finish with this finish. Don't use that finish on this wood.
I would say that's probably, you know, 99% of like the questions that come in is, I want to use this with this. Can I or should I?
Definitely a lot of them. And I think it's important to understand the don'ts, because there are fewer restrictions than there are things you can do. We have lots of options in finishing, and finishes are just getting better and better in terms of overall quality and durability. So the list of don'ts is much shorter than the list of potential do's, if you know what I mean. So let's do a video on that. I think that'll be good.
Speaking of finish, Kevin in the chat room says, by the way, I figured out my off-gassing with the varnish issue. I had used rags in the trash can in the same room, producing more odor than the wood.
Oh.
Isn't that scary? If you should never put rags that you've used for finishing in a trash can.
Listen to this one over here.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Listen to her. Listen to old Nicole Big Pants over here.
You're gonna burn your shop down.
She's right. Generally speaking, it's a good idea, no matter what the finish is, to just not leave it balled up and throw it in a trash can. Not all finishes are subject to this danger, but it's just a good rule to have, because then you don't have to worry about what finish it is.
Laid out like a pancake.
Generally speaking, it is finishes containing oil, not even necessarily all oil-based finishes. Polys, varnishes, things like that are usually okay. It's the things that contain actual oil, like boiled linseed oil and tung oil, because as those cure, we talk about this all the time, but it's a good reminder, they really build up a lot of heat as they cure, and that's how a lot of shops and houses have been burnt down.
Did you see the YouTube video of the guy who caught it on film?
Yeah, he had a security camera.
I watched that thing and I'm like,
went up in flames, right?
How did that shop not go up in flames? It's crazy.
I know, he got lucky.
He got super lucky.
So the best thing to do is to take your finishing rags, spread them out in a single layer. I drape them sometimes over a garbage can, but make sure it's not windy because you don't want it to be blown into the can. If you have a driveway, throw them on the driveway on the concrete, put a rock on it so it doesn't blow away, and let it crisp up and dry for about 24 hours.
And I know there's been past people who say, oh, I put it in a bucket of water. Don't do that either.
Well, you can. People do that.
But then you're creating all this waste.
I agree. But people can do that because that's a classic way to handle it. You dilute it with water. But what Nicole's saying, and I totally agree with, you throw that rag into water and now you've just made this simple rag waste into a giant can of liquid waste.
Yeah.
Which now it's a bigger problem. So I agree. Do not do that.
I gotta go get my charger. My computer's about ready to die.
Oh, sweet. And that's why you leave your charger in here all the time?
Probably.
Okay, so Sean Smith wrote in, when gluing up a simple frame with half-lap joints, how long should I let it sit before removing the clamps? I always hear people say to let it sit overnight, but I also have heard when using Type Bond 3 that it should only have to sit for an hour or two at the most. I'll be honest and say that I'm hoping that it's 2 hours because I have 20 18 by 24 frames and 20 17 by 23 panels to glue up and only 2 24-inch and 2 40-inch parallel clamps. Well, hey, there's a good excuse to buy more clamps, right? That's always nice.
Like you need an excuse.
It kind of, I know, really. It kind of depends on your situation, as is always the case. If it's really warm and not terribly humid, that glue will dry pretty quickly. Back in Arizona, I would only have to keep my stuff in clamps for about 30 minutes, and then I could take them out. And the thing you have to keep in mind is, once that glue kind of seizes up and it secures those work pieces together, you don't need clamps anymore. You may have to be careful with the work pieces because the bond is not at full strength, but you don't have to worry about them just spontaneously falling apart or a joint weakening. The only exception is if you've induced tension in that joint. Maybe you've done some kind of a sprung joint where you...
Oh, shit.
Oh, you okay?
Wow, that hurt.
Did you bop your knee on the bench?
Oh, yeah. Ow, ow,
What did you hit?
That corner.
The leg?
Oh, God.
Sorry to laugh, but...
It's not funny. It hurts really bad.
Yeah? Do we need to call a doctor?
No.
Want me to get Dr. Mateo in here? It's okay.
I saw stars.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. You got to do the Peter thing. Roll on the ground. Okay. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to go on answering this question.
Okay, that's why I keep going. Oh, crap.
Okay, so where was I? Okay, so if you have pressure, you have to be careful with that, and you might want to keep it clamped up longer because you need that strength to be there to hold that thing together. But if it's a simple panel or a simple half-lap joint, generally speaking, within an hour or two, you have the bond, all the strength you need for it to hold itself together. And now just set it aside, don't stress the joint, set it aside and do the overnight cure at that point. But you should not have to wait that long. And the warmer it is, the better it is. It's going to dry faster.
That hurt.
You okay?
It still hurts.
Still seeing stars?
Yeah. Woo.
Look, you gave birth to 2 kids.
Yeah.
This is nothing.
That's true.
Let's put it on a scale.
This is true.
Remember that. Terrible comparison, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, Yoso wrote in, the shop that I work at just bought a drum sander, pretty excited. I've heard that regular wood glue will melt while sanding, damaging the belt. What's your experience with it? Well, here's the thing. If you have a big glop of glue, that can be problematic. As the belt goes through, and let's say you've done a panel and you have all this glue squeeze out and you don't remove that squeeze out ahead of time, you just send it through, it can get stuck to the drum, and as it keeps going, it burns and it creates a spot on the drum that's pretty much dead now. And anything you run under that spot will put this nice, beautiful black streak all over your material. So I have that, and it happens eventually. That's how I know my belt is getting ready to, basically be thrown away. But I can, because I'm doing smaller work pieces, I can kind of avoid that section and only do the areas around it until there's more, and then it's a pain in the butt, then I just change the belt. But you make that process happen a whole lot faster by using, let's say, things like sappy material in there. A little bit of sap can get in there and cause that to happen. Wood that maybe has finish on it that's not fully cured, or of course, globs of glue. So even before I put anything in the drum sander, I always will remove that glue with a scraper, a card scraper, or just a random orbit sander. Get the bulk of the glue off of there. So now the only glue that's technically coming in contact with the drum is the glue in the joint. And that's minuscule. That really should not cause any major problems. So just get the excess squeeze out off of there and you should be fine. Okay, Henrik.
Hold on.
Yeah,
we have a couple super chats. So one from...
Geez, we got a lot of questions.
Vochos Granja?
Vochos Granja.
Sharpening stones. Where can I purchase a good water stone set? I love your show and channel. Do you
Amazon.
Do you have water stones?
I have Shapton stones. They're ceramic. They're not traditional water stones, but they are water, meant to be used with water. Amazon's great. I mean, there are other, like Tools for Working Wood is another good specialty site that's out there. And if you're going into some of the like Japanese stones, you might want to look at other vendors. But generally speaking, you can find some great sets on Amazon. Even the Norton sets are really decent. You can get some combo stones that have one grit on one side and one on the other side. And I think if you're just getting started, I think that's a really good solution for you. So if you go to
Amazon,
well, you go to the Wood Whisperer and you click on the support tab, right?
Yeah, or I could just get the link right here.
You could use our affiliate link to send a few bucks our way.
What's the? I'll do the lookup. So Waterstones.
Yeah, Waterstones.
Waterstone.
You're going to get a ton of results.
Set. Well, I think what he's looking for you is to help you. Oh, there's the Norton.
I told you, Norton.
Look at that. There's a Norton Waterstone Woodworker package.
Yep. But keep in mind, that package, it looks like it comes with like a bucket or something.
Yeah, like a...
You don't need a bucket, right? You can go to Walmart and buy it or go in the house and steal a piece of Tupperware. But just look at what the sets come with and make sure that it is a good deal.
Well, here's one. It's a Waterstone set.
That's good. Yeah, and it comes with a flattening stone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good set.
Okay, so I'll link to that one in the chat room. Okay. And it'll be an affiliate link, so there you go.
Yay! Okay, Henrik wrote in, he says, just an infant woodworker from Denmark. Infants should not be using tools. I'm just saying.
True.
Maybe things are different in Denmark. I have just been into woodworking for 1 year, sold a lot of things to buy some nice tools. So my question, how come it's hard to locate quality hand tools in Denmark, Scandinavia, like Veritas, Lee Valley? May your mornings be filled with the smell of coffee. See my shirt?
Yeah, I saw your shirt.
You know what? I don't know, Henrik.
I was wondering, I think that one got lost.
You would think these tools would be available. Maybe it's because... Oh, I don't know, Americans and Canadians just like to spend more money on tools. So companies like Veritas thrive in those environments. I don't really know exactly what it is. One thing I found that's interesting, globally speaking, and this is just my personal experience from contact with other woodworkers. So it's very, tainted by my own personal experience. This is not necessarily a reflection of how things actually are. But my impression is that outside of places like the US and Canada, primarily, where woodworking is considered a fairly popular hobby, outside of the US, it's a job, it's a trade. And in trades, you generally don't find as much of the sort of giddy excitement that we have for the things we do to make our craft happen. So that's, especially when it comes to, finishes and stuff like that is a good example too. There just isn't as much variety or availability as you find in the States and Canada. And I don't know exactly what that is, but the only thing I could guess is that just outside of those two countries, and I think Australia has we get a lot of contact from folks in Australia as well, and then in the UK too. But the further away you get and you go overseas, it seems like this woodcraft stuff is an occupation, and you're not going to find as much fervor and excitement over it. So that's my guess. Brian wrote in, he says, to save space and a little money, I was thinking about putting a router lift extension wing into my table saw instead of buying and building a standalone router table package. Any glaring negatives that I might be overlooking? I think the only negative with that, it's a very popular thing to do, by the way, and I used to have one. The only negative is the fact that you are sharing space. So if you are in the middle of a table saw operation and maybe you need to go over and use the router table, you've got to have one setup torn down to be able to do the other setup. So they might conflict with one another, but that's a compromise you make when you need that extra space and you want the functionality. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but generally speaking, it's just not as easy as if you had a standalone setup, which is fine. You got to do what you got to do. Okay, Michael Brindle Let's see.
M13 Woodworks.
M13 Woodworks. Let's do Philip's question first.
Oh,
a couple of fun questions. Philip wrote in, any summer vacations planned? What do you and Nicole do to unwind and unplug from the woodworking world?
We go to Nerdtacular.
Yeah, we have a trip to Nerdtacular planned.
That's in Salt Lake City.
It's for work, but we're going to Vegas for AWFS. We were talking with Lee Valley. I don't know if it's going to go through, but we were supposed to be going to Niagara Falls for a store opening.
Yep.
But I don't know that that's actually happening. What do we do for fun? Well, we play games.
Yeah.
You know, we love playing video games.
Yep. I am reading American Gods right now. I haven't read a book in years, and
Luddite.
I used to read all the time in high school and even in college.
And now we just read children's books.
That's amazing. That's true. I do read a lot of children's.
Technically, they're just not adult books.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get back into reading books.
Chapter books?
Chapter books.
Really?
And Mateo tells me last night, I'm reading my book next to him. And he said, Mommy, I like it when you read chapter books next to me.
Nice.
So American Gods is an amazing book, by the way. I'm almost done with it.
I think what we do outside of woodworking for fun is like take care of our kids. You know, have fun with the kids, do stuff with the kids. It's like all about the kids. Okay, Michael from M13 Woodworks. What's the one question you're either tired of getting or a question that you dread answering? And I think I know mine. Mine is the question of, what do you think of so-and-so?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
And I've actually ranted about that a little bit in the past. That would be the one that I do not like getting that question.
Yeah.
What's yours?
The moving question usually comes up.
Why'd you move?
I don't know.
How about the question about your scar on your chest?
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm not going to address it, though. No.
Yeah, you don't want to answer it?
No, I had basal cell. It's too much time in the sun. So my pale, pasty complexion does not agree with the sun.
You know, when we first met, she was like the bathing beauty, right? She came out to California, moved into my apartment. I'm going to be a California girl. And she's like, I'm going to go down by the pool and I'm going to sit in the sun. And I'm like, and you're going to get skin cancer by the time you're 40. I said, so you need to not knock that crap off. And I like my women pasty and pale, thank you. And she listened to me and she stopped sunbathing. So that's good.
I have to thank you.
I could have saved you from a potentially worse situation.
This is true. But yeah. I don't know. I don't mind questions. So
we get lots of questions.
Like
Never feel like you can't ask something. If we don't want to answer it, we just won't.
Yeah, I just think so. Yeah.
We'll ignore it. Okay, Thomas wrote in, hi guys, just starting out and would like some guidance on how big a shop space should be. This is kind of a big question. He's designing a new space. This is tough because I've seen people do amazing things in small shops. And for instance, you might think that my answer to the ideal shop space would be, oh, well, when I had the dream shop experience, I built an 1,800 square foot shop. And that was so much better than what I'm doing now, which is about half the size. But I got to tell you, I love this space. Even with its imperfections and its crooked, cracked, sloped floor, I love this space so much more than the previous one. Now, part of it is the mental aspect of being in a place I really like being in Colorado. But it actually is. I mean, look around, Nicole. Would you say that this space represents a much more completed vision, like a more harmonious space? Things are where you would expect them to be, a little closer together so they're within reach, but not excessively far away. And I say this all the time. When you have a space that's too big, you have some very interesting spatial challenges to create artificial barriers and workstations and things that I actually find much more difficult than simply working in a space that already comes with some restrictions. It's a weird thing, but I find this much better. So I would not go too big. That's my only piece of advice for you. Don't go too large, but don't go too small either.
Don't go too big.
Yeah, go to our shop tours area on the Wood Whisperer website.
Oh, yeah,
we have like hundreds of shop tours.
Yeah, we've been doing those for a long time.
And people usually mention the size. Take a look. Look at what they've done with the equipment they have, and you should be able to get a pretty quick survey for what kind of size would be ideal for your situation.
Right. We do have a couple more super chats that we need to get to. And,
okay, well, let me get this last question.
Somebody suggested that your cabinet be auctioned off of Woodworkers Fighting Cancer.
Right. You want to ship that?
No, but...
It's Baltic birch, multiple layers. I lift that thing up to hang it myself, and every single time I'm like, oh, it's not a good thing to ship. Maybe for pickup. Peter Boyes wrote in. Peter asked about the Oneida and the ClearVue, how I would compare them. This is in the works. I'm not going to answer it now, but again, another person gives me a good question that is going to be a future video very soon. So I'll get to that, Peter.
Oh, I did miss a couple super chats.
All right, let's just do some shotgun questions here.
Says, I got my bandsaw. What's next? A planer or a router?
What do you need, Mac?
Yeah, Mac.
These always like, what's next? Let the work determine what's next. What do you want to do that you can't do? Yeah. Now, if it were me, in that particular situation, it is a little easier to answer directly because a router can do so much more in terms of like making things. A planer is only going to do one thing. It's going to plane the wood, and if you want to mill your own lumber, that's fine. But a planer by itself without the jointer is a little bit less useful. It's kind of the set that really opens up doors for you in terms of milling stock. So I would say it's a lot more fun to make stuff than it is to mill lumber. So go ahead and I would get the router, personally. But again, try to let the work and your desires dictate what you buy.
Let's see. We got a nice comment from Philip Erickson. Hey guys, love what you're doing. I really appreciate all the education you passed on over the years. Have a coffee on me.
Sweet. Well, mine's gone, and there's a little swig left, and it's cold. I don't want it. Get away. I'm done with you. Once you're cold, you're dead to me. John
Eckledar?
Sure.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos most of the time with closed caption. I really miss the show, but if I do, why isn't, I'm guessing he's saying closed caption an option? Because it's very expensive to professionally close caption something, and probably you're watching it, it takes time. So all of the Wood Whisperer videos, I professionally, I pay to have them closed.
Is he talking about Friday Lives?
I think he's talking about Friday Live.
Yeah, that's an hour a week that we'd have to pay for transcription services.
Yeah, maybe we make that a goal. But again, it takes time.
The problem with that is it's one of those things that it's a incredibly small part of the audience that would utilize it. So it's hard to get a lot of people amped up about it.
Right.
We do it because we like the service. We like to be able to provide that service. But on Friday Live, that's going to get expensive really fast.
Yeah, because it's $1 a minute. So unless you're a transcriber and want to donate,
want to do that for free,
because they do have an option on YouTube where you can
crowdsource it.
You can get the community to do it.
Yeah, and then people will be making me say wiener, and butthole.
Peter says, what are these weeks? Mark will figure out how to pronounce my last name. I am so congested.
Peter Boyes?
Sorry.
Okay.
I was sick all week, and I'm still dreading.
How do you say it? Boyes? Well, Peter, you need to correct me, sir. Go on.
He says, 1 boys, 2 boys.
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 Well, what do you have the E in there for, man? Take that crap out. Make it simple on me. Extraneous vowels help no one. Ask me, I should know. There's a U in my name that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, that's true.
My grandfather took it out.
Call Me Mac says, thanks, that was great advice.
Cool.
There you go. Let me just double check to make sure I don't have any more super chats before I move over, because we do have a couple questions in the Discord. Carl put the family guy. Oh, before I forget, this is the last week that you can enter our giveaway for the Fuji Spray compression gun.
Holy! Yeah.
So last week,
I want that.
I know you do.
I want it bad.
So, but here's something cool. So once May is done, usually around the 2nd of the month, I'll launch the new giveaway. Guess what we're giving away next month?
Mateo.
No. You have one.
A Powermatic drum sander?
Yes! Yay! Yay! So June, and
that's hardcore, man.
We'll let you know and all that stuff. But the landing page is thewoodwhisperer.com/giveaway. All right, so
that's bad A.
Don't tell anybody, but so SM Roz. I'm a beginner woodworker for the most part, and I'm soaking up all the information. I bought some books, and I'm listening to Wood Talk online from the beginning. Wow, that's a big commitment. That's a big commitment. And watching YouTube videos from the start. If there are any different that either of you would do? Oh, is there anything different that either you would do differently knowing what you know now?
In terms of what, our business?
I guess. Maybe producing videos? Or, I don't know.
It's hard to second guess yourself.
The one thing I will say about just the internet environment in general, and this is from the beginning. I mean, when I was in college, I taught myself HTML to build a website.
Porn.
No.
It was a good one. That's how we met.
No, but the one thing, it always changes. And if you don't like change, if change is hard for you, that's where you kind of get stuck in a rut. And so this is true in just about anything. So a new software update, I mean, I'm experiencing that with our stupid Get Response, our newsletter service. They change something and I'm like, oh, never, where's that?
Yeah, the whole UI is different now.
But as a business online, you have to keep learning. Mm-hmm. And this is actually a good life rule. Keep learning. Don't get stuck in your ways. And try to move with the tide. The
minute you think you've learned everything you could possibly learn, you have.
Yeah.
But you're wrong.
Yeah. Wrong.
That's the problem, is you think that's the case, and once you're at that point, you've stopped learning.
Yeah. And that's okay if you are like that, because sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm so done with it. Yeah. And there's been times where I've taken breaks from, all the new cool stuff online. But then I come back, I'm like, oh, like this Discord thing.
We're never at like the forefront of this stuff, because we're a little bit more of a slower moving vehicle at this point to turn around and shift. But we wait to see things develop, and then we jump in when the time is right. And it's
usually me kind of pushing. I'm like, oh, let's do this. Let's do.
And I still go, what's the point of this Discord thing? It's just a chat room.
I love it. It's a chat room. It's a voice. I set up.
I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. That's what.
By the way, speaking of keeping up with the change, we are getting so close to the new guild site launch.
Yay.
It's going to be so awesome. It's really, really good. I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Okay, so let's wrap this stuff up.
I got one more super chat.
Okay, make it snappy.
Atkins Rob says, method for repairing chipped figure grain was due to sending through the planer the wrong direction.
Well, there is no real fix necessarily, because the chip out on something like that is just going to look awful. So a lot of times, that's one of the reasons why I got a drum sander, and maybe you should enter to win the Powermatic drum sander next month.
There you go.
Because a drum sander don't care about no grain, and you could fix those problems. The problem is you typically will thin the board out past the desired thickness, and that's challenging. So the real fix is to sand. Beyond that, you can fill them, but it depends on how you finish it. Sometimes I have filled them with like CA glue. And because it's clear, it dries in that location, and then you put a clear coat of finish on top. It's not that noticeable. Those little spots will be a little bit darker, but you can at least end up with a flat surface. But that's still not ideal. There's really no great fix, so to speak. You can also try to put a little bit of water in each one and try to steam them out. That usually only works for dents, because dents are compressed wood. This is not compressed wood. It was literally torn out. But you can swell the fibers within those little torn out spots, and that can help sort of fill in some of that space. It may not be perfect, but it'll make the holes a little less deep, if you will. But again, still not perfect. It's a sucky situation.
So Tim Bridge in our Discord chat room asked a book question. So I would like for you to go into there and answer his question, because I don't want to.
I don't use Discord. I don't understand it.
Yeah, you do.
It's very confusing to me.
No, it's not. It's a chat room.
I don't get it.
Voice.
Okay, so we're going to thank folks on Patreon for helping us out. That's patreon.com/woodwhisperer. And remember, we got to keep above that goal level in order for us to do the PM show.
But that's right now. We are scheduled for a PM show next Friday and a morning show. Don't worry.
So we are doing it in it. So at least right now we're doing that evening show in addition to our regular schedule. Yeah. But life being what it is, we reserve the right to eventually kill the morning show that day and just do the evening show. Okay, so thanks to these folks, Henrik Albrechtsen. We just answered a question from him.
Yay.
Robert Diffin-Smith, Christopher Earl, Justin Melvin, John Soderqvist, Mateo's making noise.
Yeah,
Judd Kaufman. I'll close out the show.
Okay.
Bye, Nicole.
Pick a winner.
Chicken dinner. Okay, Bryce Dexter, Colin Kippenbrock, Thomas Likens, Carl Hudson, Brett, Landon Sherritt, Darren Brown, Patrick Whitney, Ken Mann, we had a lot this week, my gosh. James Sodom, Tim Bridge, Tom Dolan, Don Craggle, Chuck Rice, Mark Fassett, John Schmidt, and David McFarland. So thank you so much, everybody, for helping us out. It's clear everybody wants us to get to that, to that 2,000 goal so we could do the evening show, which is going to be an absolute blast. So I do have to pick a winner, and I think I'm going to pick Kenny K. Kenny K was the guy who wrote in and asked the question about finishes. The reason I picked that one is because that inspired me to do a video, and I think it's going to be a really good one. Everything cool?
He's pooping.
He's pooping. He makes a lot of noise when he poops. Okay, it's quite an endeavor. Okay, so I just picked our winner. It's Kenny K.
Kenny!
Kenny!
Oh, I forgot to have the coin.
The guy who wrote the question about the finishes inspired me to do a video.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay, so are we done?
Inspired him to do a video.
Are we finished?
I'm not even mic'd anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess we're okay. Like I said, Tim's question, you need to go into the chat room and answer that.
Yeah, so patreon.com/woodwhisper is where you can go to help us out, help us keep hitting that goal so we can keep doing that evening show. I'm super excited about it. It's gonna be awesome.
If you do want to get into the Discord chat channel, if you are on Patreon, it just automatically
puts you in there.
Well, you got to connect your account, your Discord account, to your Patreon, and there's a post and it walks you through it.
Oh, it's also confusing. I don't get it.
You're terrible.
Okay.
All right.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. We will see you next time, Friday morning.
We can't have a show without mentioning poop. Hey.
There's a lot of poop in our lives.
It's a part of everyone's life.
I mean, we do it every day, most of us. Sometimes multiple times a day. We should talk about it more.
No,
frankly.
Not here.
No, all the time.
Hey, Darth Marquise. Hi.